In Exodus chapter 4, Moses tells God, what if they don't believe me? What if they say that you haven't spoken to me? What if they say that the word that I have to bring doesn't come from you? There's going to be times in our lives that God is going to tell us to do things, and you're going to be afraid that people are going to reject you, that people are not going to receive what God has given you, that people are going to say that you're lying, that people are going to say that you really didn't hear from God. And God's response to Moses wasn't, don't be afraid. It wasn't, I'm going to be with you. It wasn't any of that. Instead, God asked him, what do you have in your hand? Moses' response is, I have a staff, and God tells him to throw it down. And Moses was a pastor. He was a pastor of sheep, and the staff was important in order for him to guide his sheep. It was the thing that he needed in order to do his job. And God tells him to throw it on the floor. And a lot of times, what we have, what we need is already in our hands, and we're too dependent on that thing that we have. And God has to tell us to throw it on the floor. Where David says, thy rod and thy staff, they come from me. God is telling Moses that his staff needs to be thrown on the floor. We are too dependent on our own abilities. We are too dependent on our own gifts. We are too dependent on our own talents. And God is telling us to give to him what we have so that he can do the work that he wants to do in us. So don't be afraid when God tells you to do something, and when God asks you to give him something that means so much to you, don't be afraid to give it to him, because he's going to give you something bigger and greater in return.